Assalamualaikum everyone. We're back again with the next podcast, and
Assalamualaikum, Heidi.
Salam. And we have Kalinda
Hi.
back again the second time, because the first time it was great, but the ending, my
Yeah,
battery whatever ran
yeah.
out. I was so
We lost a bit of the good bits.
yeah. I didn't have this. See, this is why I wear it, so I know. Okay, recording. Okay, Kalinda. Tahay macam-macam. So it's a learning curve. So I feel after, I think you were my third, fourth guest.
Yeah, I think so.
So I've come up to 16 podcasts now.
Wow.
So I really should have some kind of improvement in place.
Well, we're learning everything every day. Right?
Yeah. So I hope today the recording will be completely recorded.
And she promised that everything is fully charged. You
Yeah,
know?
everything's charged, everything has battery. Plugged in. All right, so today our topic will be regarding diagnosis of ADHD, autism. What else is that?
Most neurodivergent
Yeah,
conditions,
okay, that's what we
right?
call it.
Yeah.
Neurodivergence, divergent
Yeah, conditions. Yeah.
conditions in adults. So we're talking about how kids growing up, they feel different.
Yeah, not realizing.
They,
I
they,
mean, they know that they're different.
yeah, they know they're different. Something's up, and they get told, what's wrong with you?
Yeah,
This kind of thing.
yeah,
They
yeah.
feel not right,
Yep.
and they grow up thinking, I'm not all that.
Yeah.
Not that confident in some areas, right until adulthood, and rupa-rupanya they have condition,
Yeah. They have
which
some
which has
conditions, yeah.
not been diagnosed.
Well, in my case, it's like I just didn't have a name for it.
Yeah, I just had no idea what it is.
I just didn't have any idea.
Yeah,
what it was.
so we're gonna discuss how the child grows up feeling right until adulthood, and then realizing, okay, rupa-rupanya I have this. So the
Yeah.
difference in feeling
Yeah.
of how you manage, what you tell yourself. Because I'm interested in that one, the mental health
Yeah,
of that child, adolescent growing up.
I think a big part of that would be the one reason why a lot of people are late diagnosed is because through all their experiences, through all the trauma
Yeah.
they go through, right, growing up, and all that negativity surrounding them, they tend to mask.
Mask, yeah.
So masking is a big thing in the neurodivergent world. Yeah?
Tapi for girls more, I heard.
More for girls, because girls, we are emotional creatures. Yeah.
But boys can mask.
Boys can mask, but the masking is a bit different.
In what way?
But most boys I know, they wouldn't mask so much, but there is a certain kind of masking where they can just, okay, masking is like basically just pretending.
Okay.
Pretending. It's like,
but are you holding back though?
They're holding back. Like you don't really like to be in a social situation.
Yeah.
But you force yourself to be, right? But it can only go for so long, because after that you have like a big burnout.
Meltdown to.
You can have a meltdown, or you can have a shutdown.
Collapse.
Shutdown. Yeah, shutdown is really bad. Yeah, or total collapse in, let's say, skills. I mean, it doesn't sound as bad as that, but it is bad in the sense that, like, you don't want to go out, you don't want to see people. Like the main feeling that I've had enough. I just want to be with myself.
Right.
So,
I get what they.
Yeah.
I have that
So
feeling
if you're a
sometimes.
fully functioning adult, where you're working or you're going to university, or you're studying, that can actually not be very productive for you.
Mana.
And then,
sorry to interrupt. We have not introduced you. Okay, like Madam Tani famous mana okay, Samaram.
I didn't need that.
We're not that well known. So apa ni? You just quickly let everybody, the listeners, know where do
Yes.
you
Okay. Hi everyone. So Heidi call me as Kalinda. Yeah. Okay. Well, I should be called Kalinda. At a certain age. But I'm also a mother to 3 autistic young men. Yeah. One of them is quite severely challenged, and he spent most of his time homeschooled. I'm also an autism neurodivergent advocate. I'm also autism and neurodivergent parenting coach. Yeah, and I've been doing this for about like 20 years.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
That's a long time.
Yeah,
2
around 20
decades.
years, 2 decades. And so I've met lots of families in Brunei. Yeah, hundreds of them.
Yeah.
And I also run an autism parenting support group, which apparently has been running for 10 years without me realizing
Yeah,
it.
that's a
And
long
it's an
time.
online thing. Yeah, because it's just makes it more accessible to all
Yeah.
parents. Yeah.
How'd you come out of the house?
Exactly. Yeah. And yeah. And apart from that, I'm also a behavioral consultant, and I also do education and career pathway coaching as well for young autistic adults.
That's cool. We should do another podcast on that, nanti. Parenting, how to parent ADHD children.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think we need to hear that as well. So, okay, let's crack on.
All right.
Continue. So,
where were we? Yeah. Okay. Let's I think start from the beginning, like my story, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
So, yeah, we want to hear how you, because Kalinda ne, she herself not been diagnosed, yeah?
Well, not officially diagnosed.
Not officially diagnosed.
Because I've been in this community, not just here in Brunei, and also, I know a lot of people in the international community as well, and some of them are also experts in their field.
Right.
So I contact them and talk to them, and majority of them have, have been diagnosed. But again, because out there, self-diagnosis is also acceptable, because when you're somebody who has a condition, right, whether you're autistic or you're with ADHD, there's something wrong with you.
Yeah.
And you actually don't just like one day wake up like, oh, I think I'm autistic. No, it doesn't work like that.
Right.
How we self-diagnose is that we do our research for hours and hours and hours.
Yeah, I've been hearing a lot.
Months and days. It's on our mind,
It's ticking at the back of your head. Right?
Yeah, and like we can't just let it go, so we delve into it. We contact whoever we can contact. We ask,
And from what age? Any age can there?
From any age. From any age.
As young as 12. I've been hearing kids as young as 12.
Because a long time ago, I met one parent. They were asking me, hey, Linda, where can I get my daughter diagnosed, right? Because she's been saying like, Mom, I know I'm different. It makes it difficult for me to make friends, or people bully me or make fun of me, and teachers don't understand me. So she insisted, and the mom was saying like, no, you're okay. No, but she wants it, right?
Yeah.
So in the end, the mother actually gave in. So I gave her a referral to, a consultant, and then she had her diagnosis, and she was a very happy girl. Because it's finally I know it's not me. I'm not broken.
Nothing's wrong.
Yeah, nothing's wrong. Like I'm not a bad person. I'm not a lazy person. Because those are the things that she's been called.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Maybe not at home, but in school. Because greater part of our childhood will be in school, right?
Oh.
Yeah. And that's the reason why she's been bullied and made fun of as well. Yeah. I'm not saying that she's not a clever girl. She's a clever girl. She's quite a high achiever.
Usually they're all smart.
I know, but sometimes it also doesn't help because, then other kids will pick on you as well, for being the geek like my kids. The geek, the nerd, or
the nerd.
Whatever. Yeah.
The know-it-all.
Yeah, but I mean, not all. I had really good childhood friends, but they used to call me like the professor.
At least that's a compliment.
It is a compliment in a way.
You can take it positively.
Yeah. So but again, when you go into preteen and teenage, I mean, it's not just the regular kids having difficulty, but having a condition that makes it even worse. Right?
Right.
Yeah.
I can imagine.
Yeah.
But what's the mental state? When you're a child, your mental state is okay because you're a kid.
Yeah, you're a kid, but you do pick up on certain cues. Okay, people who have a condition, we tend to be more aware.
Yeah.
Majority of them are actually hyper aware. Yeah. Even like kids that are diagnosed when they were young, especially like with autism, they're parents are often being told like, kids with autism, they don't have any empathy, don't have any emotions, they don't have any feelings, right? Just because the kid doesn't speak or doesn't show any emotion, right? But actually, majority of people with a condition, they are more hyper aware, they have hyper empathy. Okay, up to the point where it's really painful. Painful in a sense that if they see somebody feeling hurt, they actually feel the physical pain of that hurt. Or if somebody is sad, they feel that sadness as well. Yeah, in fact. So
but they cannot process.
They cannot process.
They don't know what to do with it.
They don't know what to do with it. Yeah. So as a child, because sometimes maybe the parents don't see it. Maybe people surrounding them will see like yang lain anak muan ni, go anak muan ni, or madam, or all those, kenapa ya, all that sort of comments, right? But the kids actually pick up on it.
Yeah.
So it just
stores the energy.
It's the energy,
vibe.
The vibe. Yeah, they can
air
feel.
is different here.
So and then they store it. Like you store little bits. Sikit lama-lama jadi bukit, right? That kind of thing. Yeah. So you feel it, and then you go to school. So in my case, I was lucky because I had really good childhood friends. Until now I'm in contact with them because they're very good, right?
Yeah.
Some kids may not be lucky because I know like today's world is a bit different.
Yeah. With all the cyber.
With all the and most kids are just with the technology and the gadget, right? So even regular kids, their social skills, I see is a bit kurang sudah.
Honestly, that's the truth. Right?
It's the truth.
It's gone down.
It's gone down. So I think kids nowadays have it harder. So I think maybe those who were born after the 80s or the 90s, they would have it harder. Actually.
Yeah. They can't regulate. Like they don't know how to behave.
Yeah, they don't know how the actual interaction.
Biasa pun macam.
Yeah, because what they see the interaction is like from YouTube and all that stuff.
And you don't need to talk to the screen.
Yeah,
verbalnya kurang.
They can get away with whatever they want, right? Because there's nobody to talk back. But when I was growing up, it's a bit different. So, but we did have like teachers who were, I find, unnecessarily harsh.
Back then.
Yeah, back then.
I think it's worse now.
Yeah.
Sekali apa unnecessarily harsh because what happened?
Because it's like I remember I was often being told that, hey, you must look at people when the eye contact thing.
Yeah, they still do that,
I don't have eye contact when I was little, right?
What was going in your mind though? What is eye contact to you? Is it scary?
To me, it is scary.
Intimidated.
I'm not intimidated because I think one of my sons described this very well for his case, and I think it's similar to my case because I have this kid. Okay, for a while that I forgot about me.
Right, you were busy on them.
Yeah, busy on them. But at the same time, looking at my kids, it's like looking from a page of my life,
right?
My life story. So really, one of my sons, he told me that I think he was about 9 or a bit younger than that. So he said, it's painful, mommy. I said, what do you mean it's painful? Because I can see into people.
What do you mean? What does he mean?
Like, what do you mean? Like, said, if people are nice, if people are not nice.
Tahu dorang.
Tahu dorang.
Oh, yeah.
So
it's like cats, right? They know if you don't like them. Jaganya pulang tu.
Yeah. So it's like that. So in my case, it's that. But I also have other sensory issues. So that makes even more for me. Dealing with my sensory issues was the worst part because I'm often being asked to be in situations where I don't like because I have olfactory smelling.
Oh, okay.
Smelling sensitivity. I have smelling, hearing, and touch. Okay.
All these everything.
Yeah, it's kind of everything. So
right. Sensitive. Hyper.
So that is the painful part of me growing up, and people don't understand. So of course you being asked to macam go salam that person, go hug that person, and like I can't. It's not that I can't stand the smell of people, but the smell of people, just like that eye contact thing.
Yeah.
So
repellent sikit lah.
It's a repellent because that there's a gauge of. No, I'm gonna give my trade secrets away now.
What trade secret?
How I deal with people.
No, yeah. Because I'm wearing perfume today. Okay, I don't know if you.
I can smell face like okay. So this is most of the time ever since I was little. I just got perfume. So it was After that, then it became manageable. So that was my masking
Right.
technique.
Okay.
So at the same time, because I don't know what I have, but I
Yeah.
developed.
But what age is it? Sorry?
I think I think
Teenager.
no, from
20.
young.
Oh,
From
do it
young,
forever.
yeah.
Oh, okay. So what's the technique?
So the technique is I discovered my mom's perfume, and I was like, stay with it. Of course, my mom had
Oh, you get used to the smell?
So that I can hide the smell of other people.
Oh, you over smell
Yes,
something, so
yeah.
it sticks.
Yeah. It sticks.
And then everything else you cannot
Yeah.
register.
It's like if somebody's lying to me, there's a scent.
What? I don't get it.
Yeah. I don't know how to describe it, but
Okay.
I can. Everybody just have a different scent, and every emotion that they release has a different scent.
My God, macam how dogs can smell fear.
Yeah.
Ya, sudah lah.
Yeah.
Wow.
But it is painful, but it sticks because if you got into a crowd, kan,
banyak tu.
banyak. It's like having 100 thing in your head.
So how do you, can you like compartmentalize this?
When I was young, indah.
Oh.
That's why those are the meltdowns that I have. But my dad wasn't having any of it.
Oh, no.
So parents dulu is like tunjuk rotan.
Okay. So as a child, you have all these receiving information, and then you can't do anything with it.
I can't do anything with it. Like if you're in school, in a primary school, you're being asked to like hold your friend's hands, and I don't like touching, you know. Or there's a kind of like activity where there's so many food. Hey, why don't you eat this? And like I have also that kind of texture and stuff like that. Kan, so macam. Oh, it was so painful. So,
but did they make you though?
They make you because this is school back in the 70s, you know.
Dipaksa lah.
Dipaksa. But the worst is those eye contact thing. So every time macam, you're supposed to look at me, you know.
Right.
Then macam, paksa was like, stare. But the thing with eye contact, you know, people don't realize is that just like the radio, you can understand what the person is talking on the radio.
You don't need to be looking at anything.
You don't have to. So for a lot of people with especially like autism, right? Where they don't want the eye contact. Actually, they process much better without looking at you.
Yeah, because you're focused on one sensory.
Exactly. So macam, you know, if I have to stare at you and listen to you, and you know, it's like
tension in the eyes, tension.
In the eyes. So macam like manakan, you know, and then after that, hey, this child, they pay attention, you know, and I get to write 3,000 lines. That was back in the 70s schooling. So. Yeah, I had a lot of that.
Oh no, you poor thing.
And I actually have to hide in the bathroom and do.
Oh my God.
Because it was tough. You know.
But what did you think of yourself? At the time when you were little.
Well, because you're told that you're lazy, you're stubborn, you're not listening to it, you know. And then, but for me, I heard all that. Of course, macam, you know, as a child, you feel your self-worth itu rendah.
Yeah.
You know.
So you did have that. You were feeling.
I did have that. But I do have an awesome mom. I do have to say that. My mom's pretty awesome, you know. Yeah. But I had a strict dad as well. So balance lah. You know, but my dad was often agreeable with the teachers. But I think this is also in the 70s punya, you know, parenting and raising. Parents listen to the teachers. Apa teachers cakap kan, they agree.
They respected
they respected the teachers, right? So
kalau sekarang ni juga tu.
So any bad report, right? So my dad would be like, you know, your teacher said, you know, kau ni dah pandai tanah duduknya, you know, and you know, you're so fidgety in class. I wasn't very chatty, but then that's also another thing because I only spoke at the age of 4. So probably that was the biggest red flag.
Right. But they didn't know that. They didn't
sense that. But like I said, I had a pretty cool mom, so she was pretty chill about it.
She didn't make it an issue.
She didn't make it an issue. She's always like, okay, in her own time, in her own time. Although she did try, but then it doesn't help. Like, I think this was from our previous podcast that was cut off as well. So being in a multilingual family, again, that doesn't help.
Yeah, because it's too much to process.
Too much to process. And then the anxiety of what language shall I use? Not because I couldn't speak. I could actually speak. My mom said it was like a one-hit wonder. You know, I say one word and then that's it. You know,
and then it's like, whoa.
Like bila lagi ka mendengar this word.
But so you chose which language?
English. English. Yeah.
Okay.
Finally, my dad put his foot down lah. So he chose English lah. language kan.
But still, they were not aware of anything like ADHD ka. Mana ada
No,
kan?
because dulu parenting is different. You know, we're the
Ah.
sort like balik sekolah, you sudah mandi, agak tah, you know, you want to play outside. You know, I mean, a lot of people. I think you've seen it on YouTube or TikTok. You know, when the street lights come on, that's when
Yeah.
we come back home. You know, that kind
Yeah.
of thing.
Oh,
That was how we grew up.
simple.
Simple. So,
Mm.
di rumah pun we had it at home. You know, we're playing outdoors a lot. We're basically outdoors. Being kicked
Yeah.
outdoors.
That must have helped a lot, Joa.
Yeah, but again, I wasn't playing with anybody.
Oh, what were you doing?
I found my own like little niche somewhere in the neighborhood, you know, because I remember it's like in between some trees and it was like a tiny little cave.
Okay.
So I had my own hidey hole
By yourself?
by myself.
Oh.
Yeah.
But at least you had that adventure, right?
Yeah, I had
You
the adventure,
go
but
out
I would be with my books because back then it's like
Oh.
you know,
Yeah.
I love reading and it would be with my book. So
But that's
whatever.
you, right?
But then that's me.
I mean, even if you didn't have this,
Yeah.
some normal kid will also probably
They would-
do that if they
yeah.
like to read.
Yeah, if they like to read.
No big deal. It's
yeah.
fine, right?
To me, it's fine.
Yeah.
Well, I guess because this is what I tell my kids. Whom I find us different, but autism, ADHD is a normal thing in our family.
Yeah.
So
it is what it is.
It is what it is.
Yeah.
You know, and you can't really. I mean, now at this age, of course, I understand more that I cannot control, you know, people the way they interact with us.
Yeah.
Okay, it's just how we can
Take it or
respond.
leave it, right?
Yeah, take it or leave it, and
Yeah.
how we can respond, whether we want to or not, is our choice.
Wah,
You know, you want to remove yourself from that situation,
do it.
do it. You know, don't make such a big deal out of it, right? But unless you really find that there is something really worth it, then you have to find a way.
Yeah.
But you've also got to have your own boundaries.
Wah.
You know,
When and if necessary.
yeah. So yeah, among those things, and then growing up, of course, lagi lah, teachers don't understand, and then being teenagers, other teenagers don't understand. Why do you talk funny?
Yeah.
Why do you, macam, hey, you know, I remember because my friends, we were staying in the hostel, and I think even till now, they would say, I remember kalau tanya ada event, you know, like Rejadi Sultan apa, you would always be missing.
Oh, you would disappear.
I would disappear. No, because the anxiety was so great, I would actually really literally have a fever or jadi sakit. Yeah. So and then
it was like you physically didn't want to be there.
the anxiety was like so bad.
And you made yourself sick.
Yeah, I made myself sick. I actually can fall sick. You know?
On command.
On command. Well, sort of. I wish it was on command.
Oh wow.
Yeah, but and then so I used to miss out on a lot of things, and of course there'll be some teasing. And one thing as well, having something like autism or ADHD, there's a thing called rejection sensitive dysphoria, RSD.
Okay.
This is something like a reaction, a very extreme reaction to rejection.
Okay, meaning you don't
rejection
like it?
Or perceived rejection. Meaning that any negative remark, we take it really, really,
like really to the core.
To the core.
Oh no.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I'm not just the only one. You know, actually, this happens more with people with, I think ADHD.
Right.
Yeah. Because people with ADHD, they are more on the go. They like to do things fast, or, I mean, people with ADHD, macam, they're very spontaneous people. Okay. And they like to
non-stop
they
and
like
do stuff. Yeah, but the
thrill. But once you give a criticism, sometimes it's not even a criticism, it's just a comment. But then this can also be because of a trauma response.
Like something in the past. Sounds like that.
Yeah, it sounds like that. But for people with autism, it's more of pattern recognition. Yeah.
So it's happened before.
It's happened before, or you can see the pattern.
It recurs. And then trigger balik lah.
The trigger balik. So even and then you see like the conditions itu macam body language orang ni macam mana, cara cakap macam mana, aku kena reject. My work is so bad. Aku kena reject.
It's like an anxiety dari awal.
Yeah, it's an anxiety. It's like a perceived sudah.
So what happens when you feel bad?
That's when you go down the rabbit hole. Macam, you know, sometimes you can go some people with depression.
God.
You know, or just very extreme form of anxiety.
So, if say sekiranya as a child, they get bullied, let's say in your primary years, okay, and then they go to secondary, kena bully lagi. Do they recall back the previous?
Yeah.
Oh, carry forward ni.
Carry forward.
Oh no.
That's why macam if that thing is not awal-awal resolved or well, I know anxiety you can't resolve it, kan? We have anxiety is there, but at least if it's not dealt with awal-awal, at least the child finds a means to be able to express themselves.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, because usually they internalize it.
Right.
Yeah,
right.
especially with people with ADHD, they tend to internalize things.
Can this feeling, let's say from primary and they feel bad about being bullied, sad, depressed, everything, and they go enter secondary. If between that time they're doing some kind of therapy, some kind of counseling, just to talk therapy, right? Yeah. Will it help?
Inshallah, it will help. And also they have to find like a safe person in the school.
In the school itself.
In the school itself, they need to have a safe person because who are they going to talk to?
Kalau immediate, they need immediate
yeah.
relief.
Because usually if it happens in school, they need somebody like a safe person.
Someone to run to, right?
Yeah, someone to run to.
Okay, that is
so that is something that maybe as a parent, we also need to talk to the school about it.
Yeah.
And we find a designated safe person that they can go to. Kalau nada, then that would be very difficult to belong to. So if possible, the school needs to have, I think nowadays most schools have counselors, right? But just the counselor need to be aware that, especially for this child, maybe they need, they need to be available most times. The doors need to be open.
Yeah. What was in my previous school where I did my training, they know which child always comes, and he can just come in and sit. There's a chair, there's an area they can just come in and just sit there.
It's like a sanctuary.
Yeah, and I'd be like, what's he doing here? Does he need to see someone? No, aku nak dapat. Yeah, nang datang time and time ni.
Yeah. I mean that's the same for my kids.
Like the minimum we can do, right?
Yeah.
Just, even if they couldn't talk to anyone, they know I'm just gonna sit here in the kind of child.
Yeah.
Because I think that child was being bullied a lot.
Yeah, they just need to probably decompress and process everything because sometimes the bullying is a process. This is the thing about bullying. Kadang-kadang bullying ni very subtle, kan?
Subtle?
Very subtle. Some people, especially now, I see a lot of the people they do it very subtle bullying.
Oh,
pandai. And then pandai. Tapi lepas satu, then there will be people with a condition, and then lepas tu they think about it. Hai, rupanya yang make fun of me.
Kasi lagging lah.
Oh, lagging. Tapi macam, because I think naturally people with a condition, they are just bersangka baik.
Yeah, like, they don't register negativity straight away.
They don't. Yeah.
So, innocent kan.
Yeah. So bila lepas tu macam, hai, rupanya they make fun of me. This was how I was to them. Macam mana ni kan, so that's part of the RSD lah.
Right.
Yeah. So that makes it also difficult for them to maintain relationships as well.
Okay. Meaning
how? So in the future when they have relationships.
So because feeling experience of the previous.
Yeah.
So some will be single for a long time, perhaps.
Some maybe I can't say for some maybe. So that's why it's good for them to find ways to deal with that. I mean, we can't help it. Our childhood or our experiences, those are things that shape us.
But I mean, it's like that for everyone, really. But probably more intense for the ADHD.
For people with ADHD, or people with autism.
Do they like imagine it back, macam panar, and that the new guy or girl is the actual. There
is a tendency to do that as well. Or even if they don't have that tendency, suddenly maybe halfway through the relationship, they're like, okay, I see macam mana, and they start to analyze and then cara yang bercakap tak lain, macam back to masa tu,
And is it quiet? Is it internal?
Internal.
Like they will just
yes, it's all internal. It's internal. So that's why
it's awful.
It is awful.
It's awful for the partner. Macam yan ada tahu apa-apa and rupanya, okay, he or she seeing me as the past partner.
Yeah. Sometimes it's not even comparing to the past partner, but it's just that pattern of behavior that they see. It wouldn't be like really as macam orang atuk, but it's just
The
those
feeling.
the feeling, the patterns of behavior. Itu yang that they see lah, kan?
That's understandable
Yeah.
pula, right?
Not
If it's bad,
yeah, it's not directly comparing to the other person. Bukannya artinya macam they want that person or whatever. No, it's just those pattern of behaviors, those satu, kan? So it builds up. So they need to, I think, once they've established a good rapport lah with whoever they want to get to know, it's good to just talk about it. And then from there you can see if the person is willing to, bukannya we need somebody to care for us, but this is how my brain works. This is how my because of that, this is how I behave.
Take it or leave it again, right?
Yeah, take it or leave it. Right?
Sanggup dah sudah.
Exactly.
Get out. It's true.
Yeah, and then especially nowadays, I think for modern day, there's a lot of, I think, online dating, right? People not so much as dating, getting out there, meeting people, but it's more of online dating. So that makes it a bit more difficult because you get to know a person online, and an online persona is different from a real life. So once you meet the real life person, that's when you start to pick up on their social cues,
then
all
the
their facial cues, the vibe of being with the person.
Yeah, you're right.
So
it's not advisable kala for orang ADHD and others to be on Tinder, all this stuff.
Well, I can't say that macam not advisable, tapi because that's how it is now. People are just so busy with their work, they don't really have time to socialize. They socialize pun is within workmates.
Yeah, maybe you can go on these dating things, get to know. Kalau berjumpa, then decide there lah. I mean that's normal then, right?
Yeah, kalau bila berjumpa tu lah, so just decide, and then maybe after 1 or 2 meetings, and then just say, look, I've got ADHD. That's why for me, okay, like I'm already in my 50s, right? I don't want to seek an official diagnosis.
You don't want to.
I don't want to. Okay, it's costly.
Okay,
one
fine.
is costly,
You
but
don't need to as well.
I like to spend that money on my holiday.
Okay, mana?
On my girl time. But if you're young, you're in your early 20s or your 30s, I suggest But
done.
again, if you are working, okay, this is something that you really need to think about. Will your employer be open to it?
Yeah, will they accept
will they accept
whatever result comes up?
But if you're in the 20s and 30s, I would recommend go for an official one because at least it's for your own peace of mind. You have a name to what's been bothering you all this time, to what other people, think of you, why it makes you this way. So it's worth it. Yeah. But whether you want to disclose it to your place of employment, then that's a whole different thing.
Yeah. I think you will be able to tell whether or not your workplace is, open or not.
Exactly.
Yeah, don't
just spring it on
open
them.
for no reason.
Yeah, but just find out through HR what's your policy if like somebody's
I think would it be okay, let's say you already know the workplace where you're working and it has complaints about you, let's say, like coming late.
Yeah.
Because I know that's quite common, right?
Exactly.
Coming late and like doing work very lagging, delayed work. So let's say they start to notice it. But they like you, but balik-balik this kind of thing. Could that be a good, can they tell them? Because for me, I think, tell them,
Tell them.
Yeah.
I have this condition, but maybe even if you come in late, but you're the one who leaves last. You see, maybe they don't see that. Okay, so you can tell them. But even within my condition, I am fully functioning. I'm still able to do the work even though I come in late.
Yeah.
But of course, if you keep on missing, important meetings that happen to be early in the morning, so you've got to find a way. I mean, that's not masking, but that's just if you feel that it's,
Yeah, I think to inform the boss regarding your condition, it is not to say, look, treat me different. It's more like, I am different, so I'm going to have to do things this way, but I'll get it done that way.
Yes, yes.
It's not to give me kelonggaran because I'm like this.
No. Unless you really have a physical problem, but then that's a whole different
Yeah.
thing. But yeah, but like you said, just tell your boss just because I have this condition, but I am still able to do my work. I'm still
Yeah.
kan.
It's only when I feel the boss thinks it's gonna be a problem.
Yes.
You working here.
Yeah.
Then it's like you can't win anyway, bah. If they're gonna be this way, the culture is like, oh, you're not perfect. Okay, get up.
Yeah.
If it's gonna be that way,
because there are some,
you don't want to work there
that's
anyway.
true. Because there are some workplaces that are like that.
Yeah.
There are some workplaces. Then I seriously think better find.
I mean, nobody
workplace.
needs to be in that situation.
Nobody, because you can only hang on for so long, bah.
Oh, bah.
Because I thought then
Pressurenya
it will
lain,
be
bah.
at the expense of your mental health. Now that's a whole different thing lagi kan.
Benar.
You already have like maybe anxiety as part of some of the condition, tapi when it becomes like an actual full blown anxiety disorder, kan, then atu
how do you function? How does anyone function?
Exactly, kan?
Even if you didn't have ADHD,
yes,
to be working in a place where they just don't get you,
exactly.
like, I don't want to get you.
Yeah, they forget the human aspect of your stuff, right? So
stuff it, like
that's
seriously.
I like that. Yeah, stuff it.
Yeah, stuff it. Who needs this?
Exactly, kan? Yeah, so kadang-kadang macam itulah one thing people with a certain condition, it's usually like from childhood itulah. Memang ada tu experiences atu, it's not full blown. I don't know whether I can call it trauma, but to me it is some form of trauma,
True. But let's say you had a good childhood, right? Your mom was understanding, you had good friends. Does that make you a better adult? Or
in a way, because I have something to refer back to.
Because your life was not difficult in that sense, was socially.
That part. Not that socially, yes, it was.
Oh, socially,
it was still difficult for me.
But I had people.
Yeah, but I had people. I had friends like, no, come on, like just join us. They'll find me in my hidey hole, like I told you. Because our neighborhood last time, I don't know if you know the cartoon Backyardigans. So back then, it's like the neighborhood children, we all play in the streets, we all play together, so my friends know where my hidey hole would be, and they're like,
so
come,
they know
come, just for a short while, so they were very encouraging lah. But then this was like, I must say, like primary lah. So primary, that was okay for me. Cuma bila secondary, because I moved schools and
things change.
Yeah, things change. So that made it a bit more difficult. So it was kind of lonely sometimes.
How did you cope from moving schools? Because we get a lot of that in Brunei, like the child with ADHD or autism, they switch school because terpaksa.
Yeah.
And then what was the transition like?
It's not easy because, this is partly what I do as well. I help parents with transition, okay? Because the keyword to any kid with any condition is the transition.
Andang, it's part of life, right?
It's part of life, but it hits them harder.
Yeah.
It hits them harder because one thing, maybe during primary, they're not fully exposed to what's going to happen when they move to secondary school.
They don't know what's coming.
They know what's coming because of the lack of socialization.
Oh,
okay. Not because of cara sengaja, but because maybe the condition itulah.
They're closed anyway.
They're closed anyway, right? So they don't have the opportunity to see what's going on if somebody goes to secondary school or interact with somebody in secondary school, kan?
Another world.
Yeah, it's another world. So that transition that was always difficult. Like for me, we used to live in Syria and pindah ke bandar. I mean, it's not just moving school.
It's not even just in there.
Yeah, we moving home.
Moving district.
Yeah, moving district. And, bandar is the city, right? Yeah. And the hustle and bustle di bandar.
So how did you tell? What was going through your mind? I just want to know, describe to me.
What was going through my mind?
Yeah, how did you see
I hated
the world? Oh.
I hated it. I really hated it. I felt like kalau boleh, I didn't want to go to school, but like I said, my dad was like pretty firm. So, he's not having any of that. Right? Yeah. I would probably kadai pun have a meltdown, and my dad was like maraki mata. I'm like, pandai takut lah.
So he had power over you.
Yeah, he had power over me. But in the car, I would be like bawling my eyeballs out. even going out to kadai, shopping, whatever. I was just miserable awal-awal. I was miserable. I was crying. I didn't know how to make friends. I mean, that's the part of the autism, because how, you don't know. You want to, but you don't know how to, right? So it was pretty miserable in the beginning.
So, you understood you were not coming back to Korea.
Back then we thought we were not coming back to Syria. We understood,
so
right?
the understanding is I'm moving,
and it's going to be permanent. Yeah, that's it, permanent. Because as a child, your parents don't really tell you.
Yeah,
Yeah, they don't tell you.
Why don't you people say clearly what's going to happen?
Like
A to Z, ba? A to Z.
Oh, like tell me, like maybe I'm going to be here for 4 years saja, but what?
Yeah, bigger picture, okay.
I know. So yeah.
Would you have been able to handle it better if they did tell you everything, or is it going to be too much?
It would have been much better if they told, because this is why transition is important. Like my kids, when they move school, right? So either I show them through pictures, we talk about it. You're gonna be full disclosure, or kalau I can ask the school, like, can I actually bring my son around just to for him to have a look at the school, and then where's his classroom gonna be,
every single thing,
or his teachers, would that be possible? Macam
awal-awal intro,
intro ba.
Kailangan mo ya.
Some schools are okay. Some are like, can we do it during 10:50? Where there's nobody around. So it depends on the school. Some schools may not want to. But that's the part of the transition which is very, very important transition. Even preparing my eldest one masa dia kan ke UK tu, it took a whole year for us to prepare him. We used a lot of Google Maps, Google Photos. Mana tempatnya tinggal, because once we found out like where he's gonna stay, right? So this will be your route. So every day kami like the Google, buka the Google Earth tu, because you can see real time, right? So we show like, okay, this is this is the route you're gonna go to your university.
Every inch
and then macam kan balik grocery. Oh, there's a Tesco here, macam So we prepare him for that.
That would be good for any child, no?
It would be good.
Any child. First time belajar.
Exactly. I mean, if you're planning to go on a holiday with your kid, hey, tell them about it.
What to expect,
Honestly, I hate surprises. I hate surprises. Please don't surprise me like, hey, this last minute, there's a event, like a family event.
Thanks a lot. You just killed me.
I will literally be like, frozen, but I cannot think. I don't want to
process it.
I can't process it.
Yeah.
I literally cannot process it. So if you want any event, please,
Yeah, so you can prepare, right?
Yeah, can prepare. So imagine for the younger kids lagi kan. So it would have been helpful, if my dad told me like where we're gonna live, where we're gonna do.
How the house is gonna look like. This is your bedroom. You're gonna be here. Whatever.
All that,
I mean, to the parent might think, lapih just more can explain, but you need that.
But it works. It works.
Yeah, I get it. Some parents are bad, okay. You don't think your child is gonna be like jumping for joy. For a new change. No,
I know when we're talking about kids with a condition, like you definitely have to prepare them. That transition is very, very important. This is what I see. Most of the stress is coming from every school year. A new school year buka. It'll be the same story. Why my child? Because they were not prepared. Lain lagi, those who finish PSR and primary 6, and then they're going to secondary school. That was not done.
It does make sense though, right? You have to put yourself in the child's shoes, in the ADHD. Even though you don't have ADHD, but you have a child, you're gonna have to think extra.
Exactly. Right. For example, you're being sent to a conference, right? You want to know every detail. Hotel mana
you don't be
stay.
lost.
Or if it's a new country you've never been to. Kalau aku sampai sana, am I being fetched by somebody or what?
Taxi,
So you need to know all that. That is transition, which sometimes kita ni we forget about. The adults we forget about that. So children with a condition macam ni, they need to they cannot process what they can't see.
And then being lost is not fun, okay? It's not the best feeling.
It's not.
uncertainty itu beri job lah for them. For
exactly.
anyone really, even myself. I wouldn't want to.
Yeah.
I don't like traveling, to be honest. I
Yeah.
don't care if I don't travel, because apa ya, memikirkan dan
Oh,
and I
yeah.
don't want to travel by myself. I don't like that.
Yeah.
I just don't.
Well, recently I just had to, after a very long while, I travel by myself. So you can just imagine the anxiety. And my husband said, you're okay too. You're going to be there because, I had to go for a mini reunion with friends I haven't seen for like 30 years. You're going to be okay too. So I was like, no. Just stick to the hotel yang kau biasa. And you go there.
Jangan banyak fikir.
Yeah, jangan banyak fikir because you know tempat makan mana. So I said, it's okay. Oh, but it's like, it's going to be costly because indah betul. It's like at least you're
running a lot of things in your head.
I know. So yeah, even on the plane padahal I look Singapore, I've been there.
Oh my god, aren't you Singaporean as well?
I know, I'm not Singaporean. So, yeah, but traveling alone. Kan? So my husband's like, this is not the time for you to experiment because that's the ADHD part of me. I want to experiment. I want to be spontaneous. And maybe I'll try a different hotel this time,
Kulit tapi
jangan tapi jangan gagar kan. So I was like, now just stick to the hotel that you know.
Oh my god, do I have ADHD? I'm thinking I do right now. Like
yeah.
But I don't like. Okay, that's why I don't go to weddings. Okay, I'm so sorry. But like I don't like going to functions unless kena paksa.
Yeah.
I just hate it. Even walking to the seat where we have to sit. Macam just lihat kiri kanan terus macam I hate this, I don't like
it blows my mind when I say, kita duduk yang mana saja.
Badi kereta lah duduk terus like, balik.
Okay, that really blows my mind. Like then I have to look like who I know or whatever because I need an anchor kan. I need an anchor bah.
Oh bah.
So macam like that.
Oh my god, I think I have ADHD. Benar. So kepikir-pikirannya macam barangkali juga. Because I'm awkward, I am socially awkward. I can tell you that. But I think it's a masking thing, you see.
Yeah, it is a masking.
Like I will stick to the friends I know.
Yeah.
I can make friends, yeah. But the thing is, kalau ya vibe-nya lain, sorry lah, I'm not gonna even look at you. Macam tu bah.
That's why like growing up, that's one of the thing as a teenager kan, ia tu macam ambung tu nya, ia pilih kawan. No, it's not that. Like, I'm not vibing with you.
Yeah,
you're
not my kind of person.
Yeah, kalau dulu zaman kami ada word vibe tu So now like we can use the word like, yeah, it's what I mean, right?
Vibe.
Yeah, it's a vibe.
I can't even explain it. That's it.
Yeah, So, and I see it in my kids as well. So, kalau macam orang-dorang, it's not orang-dorang dah biasa. Sometimes it could be orang-dorang dah biasa, but hey, like he knows about like Dungeons and Dragons. Then macam ada
baru
on, So I think it's like that. Kan? But growing up, it's those kind of things that as a teenager, it's actually very soul crushing. Like, apa kan aku semua? Apa je semua? That kind of thing, right? And then after that, you start to be overly friendly because it's like the compensating kan, it's the RSD thing kan. So maybe this is the one thing. Maybe I should do it this way. Okay, tapi people will see juga.
You're trying to be because I hear children, teenagers, they want so much to be accepted by this.
Yeah, it's up to a point where it's the people pleasing. So I did go through a phase where it's a people pleasing.
When you were younger,
when I was younger.
Not now. I think.
Not now. So it's like, but at the end of the day, macam again, it's tiring, bah. It's tiring. I'm
saying as if I know, but
I'm pleasing people, tapi to what? It's still at the expense of my own mental health. It's the expense of my own emotions that I'm ignoring. Kan? So as a teenager, all these things is very difficult to process. If you're in your teens, it's very, very difficult to process. Kan? So itu macam, image wasn't that great.
Right. When did it improve?
It improved when I went off to study by myself, right?
So that's what, 6, 7, 18, 19?
Yeah, macam itu. And then because, but then that's another transition lagi because you had to, kata orang macam, really, really be by yourself, deal with things by yourself, kan? and then there was still that people pleasing part, but I think bila sudah towards like my second year, towards the end of my second year, and then baru tah macam start to stand my ground. Like I don't have to come every time you guys call me.
Yeah.
You know, I've got my own thing to do, and suddenly I find like, hey, okay, je lah. You know, but of course, like, kau ni macam, like, are you too good to join us, whatever. But I started to learn how to not listen to that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know how, but macam something just clicked lah.
Like you suddenly realize that's not on me, that's on you.
Yeah, that's not on me, that's on you. Because aku gathering sama kamu pun like duit aku keluar juga. As a student kan you like, you have so little money.
Yeah.
So it's like,
you're not obligated.
I'm not obligated. And then because sekarang stress of money lagi, I can't pay my rental,
Siapa yang jaga? Siapa rescue me?
Exactly.
Not you.
Yeah, exactly kan.
So you start getting logical, yeah?
Starting get logical. So that's when I was like thinking like, oh yeah, because the autistic part of me is all logical thinking.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, this is a bit tougher because I have both autism and ADHD. So it's always an internal tug of war. The logical part and the spontaneous part.
But it's kind of like a balance, no? Like,
it is a balance, but it's kind of tiring. Like it is between the dudes, like
it's like two of you.
Yeah, like don't do it, don't do it. So we'll see who wins today. Like do it. Okay, we got out of the door.
God. This is like that cartoon, right? Inside Out. I don't know if you've seen that. Like you've got conversation in here.
Yes, that's why Inside Out actually relates to a lot of people.
Yeah, it does.
It does. So when first time I saw it, I was like, oh, okay, that's how my brain works.
Yeah.
I was like, my brain fucking.
Then you're like blank out here, but it's like going on rubbish in the head.
So this is sometimes when things get really tough, then I have to switch on that logical part of my brain.
Okay. You can decide.
I can decide. Yeah, because for many years I've been called very indecisive. Bukan apa, because it's that internal part of me like.
Okay je.
Yeah, so then I started being logical and itulah. So that so even
because you're an adult.
I was starting to be an adult because sudah kan habis, and then now you're about to graduate. Of course you're gonna go into work life. But luckily back then, because even when I was studying, bila balik cuti aku kerja lah. So I had that transition sudah to work life.
Slowly merging into work.
And then before I went to study, also I did the internship at the same place. So I was already have the
This is sengaja or it just happened to be this way?
It just happened to be this way.
Okay, lucky then.
I was lucky then. So macam so I am kind of familiar with what is expected to be at work. Cuma of course when you are working sudah, then you would not have a supervisor be with you, or you would not have your somebody be with you, so you'll be in charge of your own section or unit or whatever kan,
which is good for you, no?
Which is good for me because I used to work in a lab, right? So my background is biotechnology, but I specialize in biomedical sciences and technology kan. So of course working in the lab, I love it. Because
and then there's nobody around, it's just you.
I'm in charge of my own section.
You don't have to bother about all the social things.
The politics of the workplace. That is one thing I don't like to deal with because it's again way too much. But that kind of work really suited me as well.
And at that time, you still had not thought of you having ADHD yet, kan?
No.
It's still, you still think this is me.
I still think this is me. I'm very good at multitasking.
This is my personality.
No, this is me. I'm very good at multitasking.
That's what you tell yourself.
Yeah, that's what I tell myself. Okay, so I think this is the advantage. Okay, this is how my brain works. Yeah. I said, okay, I'll use this as an advantage. But then I was young. Actually, something a lot of energy. So multitasking is like, right?
Yeah, you can do it.
You
need it.
I used to just cover everybody else's macam call duty and whatever. I used to work like a full seven days a week.
It looks like you are the star employee or something like that. Star.
Well, but I wasn't aiming for that because that was just me. I like to
you're not aiming for it, but that's what you feel comfortable doing. You can do work this way.
Yes.
So orang kenapa jilat tahu enggak?
You think?
Entah. Yeah? No? No.
People don't like overachievers.
Oh, your peers perhaps didn't like it, but your bosses, hindi juga. What do they see?
Huh?
What do they feel like? What
Because back then, I think, I don't know what I'm supposed to say it, but the way the job progression will be is like, I can take over that job.
Oh, you're a threat.
You're a threat.
Ah, it's like, oh shit, it's her again.
Yeah, it's a perceived threat, kan? So macam,
okay.
but not
Even
that
though you didn't have any intention, this is the politics, lah.
it's a politics.
Boring,
boring.
brothers.
Politics happens everywhere, right?
Medyo berapa?
Yeah, at the end of the
Yeah.
day, you still earn your salary from there. I earn my
Yeah,
salary
if
from
I
my
want to
third
work
family.
my butt off, that's my business.
Yeah,
You know?
yeah. But I am someone who likes to be busy. So yeah. So I like, and then back then, I didn't have a dating life. You
Yeah,
know,
so you had nothing else.
I had nothing else, and then my aim was like to help my family, and my mom
Mhm.
was a single mother. So I want her to, macam, you know, have a, once I start working, like a much more comfortable life, right? So
Right.
macam, that's why I put in all those hours, because you get paid. Hey, you get paid overtime, you get paid call duty. You
So
know,
it was money lah, driving
it was a
factor.
money driving factor.
Okay.
Yeah. But then again, that's all that people pleasing part.
Yes.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
That makes sense. Right?
And
Yeah.
you mentioned. Okay, I might like to discuss this. Like, just share what you want or not. You're saying your mom is a single mom.
Yeah.
During that time,
Yeah,
the change.
that was a tough transition as well.
How do you see it? I mean, for children who are going through this currently, what?
Like
what
I said,
do you
I
think?
managed to switch to my logical brain.
What do you tell
So
yourself?
she was going through a tough time emotionally and whatever. So I had to take over that role of being, because my dad wasn't in the picture anymore. And then I had to really step up to be the big sister. I had to be the emotionally for my mom, the parent.
Right.
Emotionally for my mom. But luckily it didn't last too long. But of course, I mean, everybody will go through something, right? If like, you know, you lose your life partner that you think would be your life partner, right? So of course she had to go through emotions, but I had to step up and be able to, again, it was not easy.
But you understood what was going on? Or?
I understood, but the logical part of me said it was unnecessary.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, and I told that my late father, he's passed already, but I was like, I told him it was.
What age was this?
I was about, I think I finished I was in my A level. Yeah, after all levels, I was already there. You know, starting to.
And even that time, I think you felt.
Yeah.
It.
I felt it, but then I went off to do my A levels, kan. So from by back then, kami sudah move back to Syria.
Okay. So something more comfortable for you.
No? Comfortable in a sense because it's
familiar.
Like familiar.
Yeah.
But of course, again, it was a different house. Now you have to think like people's condition is very difficult. But even like moving to a different house again.
Any move, any change. Terror.
And these are major changes.
So when you went back to Syria, that's without your dad, Lata?
No, with my dad.
With your dad.
Still with my dad.
And your mom?
Yeah, and my mom. Yeah.
Oh, okay. So they moved together.
Yeah, we moved together. It was still intact. The whole family was still intact. Moved to a government school, government secondary school. Okay. Again, that was a very big change because the culture is different again.
What school were you before?
Before I was in like a private local school.
Okay.
Yeah, and then even growing up, I've always gone to a private local school.
Okay, so this first time sudah nak move to new house government lagi.
Yeah, to government school lagi. And then macam that's a lot, and then
and you have to speak Malay.
Yes, I had to like speak a lot of Malay than usual.
Oh my god!
And then the competition was crazy.
You have such good memory, You notice that?
Yes.
Memorization itu dorang handal
Yeah.
I couldn't do it.
I know, right?
So, why am I talking like I have ADHD?
So
I'm gonna get myself diagnosed.
In secondary school, okay, here's the best part. For some of the English lessons, just coming from I think private, and I speak English most of the time. Because the teacher aced it. Like if the teacher has to step out, she asked me to,
teach the class.
Yeah.
Okay.
Having to teach your peers like that, you know how many eyes just rolled and
Oh
nobody
my
was, and you
god.
are definitely not going to be the popular kid, right?
So this happened when you went to work as well, right? So it must have been familiar when you
Yeah,
felt, oh god, they hate
yeah.
me now.
I know, yeah, it's kind of very familiar, but it's not intentional, but
Oh,
macam,
it's like, so I'm amazing someone. Okay, okay,
yeah.
got it.
So yeah, and then I think towards sudah kat O level, yeah, done with O level and everything. But I must say during O level there was the upper secondary. Those are the very brilliant group of friends lah that I have, and they're friends till now. And because it so happened that they all came in from all the private local schools,
Oh, so
and
you
some was like,
banded together lah?
yeah, and then some were like, macam, hey, you were like in primary school with me,
Yeah.
so
Oh, that's
all
nice.
familiar people.
Things worked out.
Yeah, things worked out, so that was pretty great. But then by then, I think my parents' marriage was dissolving. Yeah, it wasn't fully official, but I know my dad was no longer kind of living with us. Um, so my mom back then, she didn't have a job, so of course things were very tough.
Yeah,
And
tough.
again, I had to, you know,
Were you explained what was going on? Because I know dulu nada kan explain benda macam mana ni.
no, I think back then my mom, because she said that, okay, I think I was already about 16. Usually after I was 16, something, I think you're old enough. So because I think she didn't have anybody to talk to as well. Because my mom is not local, kan.
Right.
And back then, you don't have text and semua pakai surat.
There's
And
no social media,
no social media,
no way of contacting.
no WhatsApping.
Yeah,
She can to call to Singapore mahal. How is if she's going to churat with her sister, she's going to rack up a lot of money, you know. So, and I could see her that she's trying to write letters, but she'll be crying and like, there goes all that paper. I mean, like, so she couldn't. So I think she needed somebody to talk to. Yeah,
not bigger.
Yeah, to talk to me lah, because my other two siblings were still slightly younger. So
okay. So you were the main.
Yeah, but this is one thing as well. Now I recall, growing up, I'm always the person that my parents go to talk to. Even with my late father and whatever kan. So even
yang berharap.
Bukan je yang berharap, but I don't know, I'm like their sounding board or something.
Yeah.
You know, even after my dad remarried lagi, and then even my stepmom knows that, yeah, my dad, your father, he come and talk to you. If anything, come talk to you. Yeah. Why did you ask me that? Yeah, because it's like, yeah, I said because I'm the one with the logical brain.
Right.
I can talk without having emotions to cloud everything, every judgment kan.
You just sit there, listen, take it in, that's it.
Yeah, macam itu.
Yeah, because but was it good for you though? Because I always hear sometimes when the child cannot told all the secrets and stuff, it's not good. Yeah. Or did you feel?
There's good and bad to it. Good in a sense that okay, emotionally it helped me grow. I began to understand more about
adult situations
and human relationships. Right. And how to deal with difficult situations.
Indah tungkal. Macam, oh my God.
Yeah, but the other half of me is that child that feels crushed because this is something. Okay, your parents are your most. I think your most basic core memory, and to have that core memory just shattered, it's very, very difficult. And then as a child, you want to be a child, you still want to have your mommy and your daddy together, you know, no matter what
mom
age.
and dad, right?
You still want it, you know. Even as an adult, we all live in our lives. But there's certain times like I just want my mommy and my daddy. You know what I
just want this.
Yeah. To me, like having both of them is like having the most comfortable smell. You know, in the studio. So, so at the same time, that's the part that's not so great for me. And again, that was actually very difficult for me to process. It took me a while to accept that. So I think I did a bit of the rebellious thing when I was studying abroad. So that was the time, because I was alone for the first time in my life. I was alone. So all that came to the surface.
And so they got divorced when you were away.
They got divorced when I went in my A levels.
A levels, tapi I was still
here in Brunei.
So you witnessed all that. You were present for all this.
I was present for all this, and then I went to stay in Maktab Duli. right? I was boarding a hostel, right?
Okay.
So I was a bit distanced from that.
Right.
But then family situation didn't improve, and like and most times I didn't even go home, and that was kind of like another time for me to actually that was the time for me to be alone as well.
Right.
Yeah, and it wasn't really great
Right.
because even back then there was kata orang suicidal tendency.
You were experiencing.
I was experiencing.
Right.
Yeah, I was experiencing that
Really?
because I didn't know how to process the whole thing.
It was too much. It was
It was too much. It was too much. I didn't know how to I to me it kept on going in my mind. Set the way out. Set the way out. Set the way out.
Did
Right?
you blame yourself, or did you have any of that?
I blame myself. I said,
Really?
macam, was it me? Maybe I saw my dad like with whatever, was happening, and maybe I didn't tell my mom, but maybe if I did tell my mom, kan aku kena marah. No, was it me? I think it was me, or did I do something
Right.
wrong? Or, because my dad is one person who, when it comes to studies, he always expects the best from me.
Yeah.
I can get an A,
Yeah.
but it's still not enough.
High expectation.
Very high expectation. So then I was thinking, like, maybe it's because of that.
Maybe
Maybe I didn't do well in school. Is that why?
Okay. And this is a A-level student, yeah.
This is A level
thinking
student.
this way.
Exactly. Yeah, that was during my first year A level lah, masa baru
That's
masuk.
a lot.
That's a lot. And then after that, belum lagi benar-benar dorang officially, but again totally lah. This time totally my dad wasn't living with us. My mom had to move out. She had to find a job, So it wasn't easy for her as well, starting at a late age and, finding a job. So of course we moved lagi house. And then, a lot of those changes. So it did affect my studies as well.
So yang diseria, the new house you move lagi?
Move lagi. So of course we had
with
to
your mom saja?
Yeah, with my mom saja.
Okay.
So, and then my mom, of course, being a single mom, she can't, every weekend come and pick me up.
Yeah.
But somehow throughout that time, I found groups of students who were going through similar time. Yeah.
How did you find each other? You talked about it? You shared?
Yeah, because like you see, kids who are with intact families, to me like this is what my own observation.
Okay.
They were happier. Habis a lesson, they go, hey, hang out, whatever. But there were groups of us, like I could see like ini seorang-seorang saja, seorang-seorang saja. Isolated kan? Isolated. We didn't have that happiness bah.
Right.
What are we supposed to be happy about? Kan?
Joy, another spark.
Another joy,
another light lah, basically.
Yeah,
and then,
I mean, I do have good friends like because my same friends from my secondary school, they went up there. But I find that most of the time I would, just isolate myself.
Right.
Juga kan?
So how did you approach?
Or
did they approach you?
No, and then macam we sort of like talking macam, so, hey, apa ni, what are you gonna do this weekend? Oh, nothing much. I'm with my mom. My mom has to work. So it's a conversation like that. And after that, so we discovered like we are like, oh yeah, my dad left us. Jangan ni wrong. My friends got this. So then we started talking. I mean, we're not like the best of friends, but we had that particular group that we could just,
like, you can feel you understand me. You get what I'm going through.
Exactly.
And that's what you need at that age, especially.
I need it because the rest of my friends, they had intact families.
They wouldn't get it.
They wouldn't get it.
And even if they think they get it, they wouldn't.
Yeah, they wouldn't. So, so I had that group of I guess I can call them friends at that time lah. So people who know. So that helped me process a bit more.
There's a support thing going on.
Yeah, so it's just not me.
Yeah, it does help.
Rupanya other families are. It happens in other families.
It's not only my family that's broken.
Yeah, macam itu. That kind of thing.
Yeah. When you know it's common, how do you take it then?
Then it started to be better. I could join my other friends and the usual activities. Laugh along with them.
It maybe feels like there's no secret to keep.
Yes.
Like,
yes.
I'm just
I mean, apparently my friends do understand. They understand that, but they didn't know how to reach out because we were all kids kan masa tu. They didn't know how to reach out. So then baru tah like, hey, aku akan balik kerja, yuk tumpang, macam tu. then I felt okay.
Because it's a delicate situation.
It is a
They
delicate
don't know how you
situation.
will react or
Yeah.
receive.
Yeah, but then they had
Oh,
their parents were great jua. So,
wow, that's so nice.
that was a nice part lah. But again, like I said, some part of it was like still being kept.
Right.
Still
Nakan
being kept.
semua
Nakan semua. And then I think just a few days before my actual A-level exams, then my parents officially divorced. And that was
what a great timing, huh?
very great timing. So that was like, I really did not feel like going for my exams.
No.
I really felt like, staying under the covers.
Right.
I couldn't tell my friends what was going on.
Yeah. You can articulate it anyway, Kale.
Yeah, I couldn't. I thought that was like my first time that I sort of figured out that was a shutdown.
Oh.
Yeah, that was
sad.
So I went through the exams. I hardly talked to anybody.
You actually attended.
Yeah, my friends
got
was
yourself to the exam.
They were like,
but you did
out the door, go for the
okay.
exams. And because like I said, I'm also a logical person. Like, I need to always finish what I start. That's always been my way.
Okay.
Because growing up, I was always told, kau ni dah pandai habis ni.
Okay.
You know?
So you're fighting hard to not be that.
Yeah, right. Like I said, the RSD thing. So I'm trying very hard not to be that. So when I was in secondary, I already started to develop that thing where like, okay, if I start something, I have to finish it. Yeah. Because throughout primary school, I've been told that, dah pandai habis ni, macam ni.
Okay.
So semua dah
a lot
pandai
to
habis.
think about.
I know.
Okay,
It's a
so you
lot.
went to the exam hall. You did your exam. How did you do?
Not so great.
Can I ask?
I can't remember, but it was like not great.
I don't think so. Come on.
Not great. But I got the scholarship based on my O-level results.
Okay, that's alright. Kan A-level tu macam nonsense lah.
Yeah, especially if you have like a lot of things, because you really need the focus for it.
Yeah.
You need to be in the present. You need to be focused.
I just did a podcast with Nisha, my niece. Last week kan, pasal A-level lah ni.
Yeah. Because actually during A-levels, I actually did help to tutor some other students as well.
You're actually a good student.
I was actually a good student.
All the life things going on crumbles, ya kan? Because that age, what I was discussing with her last week, it's like you're not an adult yet, but you're not a child.
Exactly.
So it's like you're in mid at the stage of your life. So you do need your parents, but you're not a baby.
Exactly.
So you're like half, like neither here nor there.
Yeah, that's true.
Can?
Yeah, that's true. So and then if you have a condition, it makes it even worse.
Yeah, I can imagine.
It makes it even worse, kan? So macam, I was like, okay, I didn't but I was lucky to be offered the internship back then at Shell Penaga hospital back then. Yeah,
everyone needs that break,
Yeah. So macam I feel like because of luckily my O-level results was like that was fantastic, and then so through that one and then I got the scholarship from Shelpen to
via the
internship.
Yang penting actually O-level you got to do quite well for your O-level just to prove yourself that you can achieve.
Yeah.
And then after that sekarang terfikirkan you.
Yeah.
you have time to like mess up.
Exactly. Yeah. So but then again, all this it just does not determine your future sebenarnya.
Oh yeah.
I've seen a lot of successful people who's only got 2 O-levels.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So
Di Brunei.
You'd be surprised.
Oh, okay, that's good.
I mean, they do well in business. They did, they were not the top students or whatever. Okay?
But if, like yourself, you got scholarship based on O-level, atulah. If you're looking for scholarship, terpaksa lah score.
But then back then, because we were trying to score for the government scholarship back then. Kan?
Wasn't everyone?
Yeah, so
everyone needed a scholarship.
Exactly, not now, but back then, yes, So that got me through. It wasn't that great again. Then of course that didn't help lah. My self-esteem took a hit. Took a hit, and like that was major RSD back then. Yeah, it was major RSD.
Yeah, kind of get the sense of how you had to cope growing up because you didn't know you had the condition.
I didn't know.
So you just thought you were just. Yeah. Did you think you were emotional? Just like hyper emotional about everything? What did you label yourself as?
No, hyper empathy. I have hyper empathy. I do feel what people feel, but find difficulty in expressing my own emotions. Yeah, that's the one thing.
Control lah.
Bukan je control. It's just
cannot.
But doesn't mean I don't feel it. I feel it so deep that you know, for example, like one of my sons, right? He has hyper empathy, but you know, for example, like somebody passes away, dia ketawa-ketawa. But that's how he.
Yeah, it's not he thinks it's funny.
He's not.
It's just the outlet of his emotion is laughter.
Yeah. Yes. Yeah. So, but he feels deeply because he'll talk about it for days and days and days, like in a day, so many times. You know, like Nini sleep in the ground. Nini not gonna wake up. You know that. You know, he'll talk. So I know that he feels it very deeply, and then sometimes he'll be quiet. I'll see his eyes watery. So he does understand, right? So that's how it is.
Right. So for parents who don't understand this or probably don't realize anaknya ni ADHD or whatever, they may get angry.
They may angry.
Kena scold macam ni. Apa ni, you know.
Macam mana ni dah faham? Macam you know tu yang pasang kurang ajar or pasang more degil or whatever, you know, that kind of thing.
Whatever it is, right? So that is the part yang can stay with the child.
That can stay with the child.
Sampai besar.
Yeah.
Exactly. It is important if you have a child who has the condition to diagnose. It's for the parent to understand.
Yeah. And also important thing. That's why I said I had an awesome mom because she was a great model for me.
Yeah, you're lucky in that sense.
Because as parents how children learn behaviors is through kita ni bah. We model the behavior.
Oh, that's true.
You know, so even with my kids, it's important. It's like that, kan? So sometimes even they may be like really going through tough times, tapi kan ikut marah dia dapat. You know, I have to just be the calm.
Yeah, keep it together.
Yeah, keep it together. You know, this is this book I'm reading recently. I forgot who's the author, but The Calm in the Chaos or something.
Right.
So macam tu lah. Sometimes we have to. Kadang-kadang, you know, our anxiety pun, you know, our kids can pick up on it.
Yeah, like barang not so bad, jadi bad, berhabis because we are like seeing the worst.
Exactly. Yeah. I mean, part of the coaching that I do, I always sometimes tell parents as well, macam sebenarnya yang takut. You're the parent. You're the parents.
Yeah.
You know,
parents thinking the worst.
Yeah, parents thinking the worst and
overly protective.
It's good. There's nothing wrong. I'm not saying there's anything wrong with that, kan?
You're just being a parent.
Yeah, but jangan sampai it affects the child.
Their beliefs about themselves.
Yes, yes. It affects the child, and if it affects on you being able to allow your child to, you know, move on, experience things, learn
jangan
things.
disable the child because you are disabled as well. You've disabled them being able to learn.
Exactly. You know, macam like with kids, okay, your child suka panjat sofa, bawa dia ke, you know, some place where they have a huge trampoline, let them jump, let them jangan say macam ni berhenti. But you don't have any replacement for that, pa. You don't have any positive outlet for that, kan?
Don't cut off what they naturally need to be doing.
Yeah, and then lepas tu kadang, anak ni semua penakut, semua nak buat. But when in actual fact,
right?
But the thing is, we're not blaming the parents. Tapi kadang-kadang kita ni parents, we need to reflect ourselves. I mean, I've done the mistake as well.
No, for sure.
I've done the mistake. Even with my condition, I've done the mistake because lagi tahu with my condition, I expect certain things, because you know. But then after that, I have to think like, okay, it's not me. Is it? Did I do something that? Saya bila dilihat, because of course not everybody will have the same. One thing I've always said is observational ability, kan. So bila kau observe pernah benar, bila macam, I think it was something that I said hari itu, you know. So that's why and then macam, okay, I try to not do that. You know, because if kalau tu cacat takut, you know, kan ada kids yang dah takut cacat pun jadi takut, kan.
They think all sorts of things to do that.
But then in my case, I'm really terrified of cacat, so I didn't do that with my son. And then suddenly when they're like, "Mommy, you know, like, aku kali, you know. Okay, so that's the cons of that one. But then again, you know, because I don't want him to grow up like me. Semua takut, pa.
Yeah,
Takut
yeah.
ani.
Like
takut-
your fear, let it be your fear.
Yeah,
It
yeah.
doesn't have to be their fear.
Yeah. You know, but doesn't mean that Tani let go juga kan. With our fear, Tani let them experience. Let them
Decide for
experience.
themselves
Decide for
whether you don't
themselves.
like it
Oh,
or not.
ba. Tapi macam you are there to observe. Okay.
Of course, kalau danger situation like fire or
Of
whatever.
course lah. Nak macam go. Return
Yeah,
fine
and
dah lah.
long continue, throw it in the face, right?
Yeah.
But like we have to be good at, judging.
Yes.
If this is a life situation, they gotta understand it, right?
Exactly.
If it's like, yeah, I get what you mean. Like,
So, macam tu lah. So, I guess that was, tu lah, Alhamdulillah, my mom, to me, that was my model lah. My model of calmness or,
yeah, she sounds cool.
Yeah. She's getting on in her age, but
How old is she now?
she is about, I think, 70 something, 74.
Oh, she's so young.
In a way, she's still young, but she's been through a lot. Because she didn't have that family support when she was here.
Yeah. So she must be very resilient.
She's a very resilient person.
Yeah.
So that's why I'm like, yeah, okay. That
I'll give you that.
Yeah, I'll give you that. So atu yang macam I try to be. What would mom do? This. But yeah, but still macam growing up as a person macam ni not easy. So if you feel and you've felt this for so many years, it's worth just having, just go see somebody, check it out. Even if it's not autism or ADHD or any other, you could have some anxiety disorder. All those things can be helped.
Understanding yourself.
Yourself.
It's very good to know yourself.
It is.
Yeah.
It is key. And then macam, it just helps in so many situations.
Yeah. The worst is to not get diagnosed and then think all sorts of things negative about yourself.
Yeah.
And believing it.
Yeah.
But how? It's not. It's just you have this.
Exactly.
And that's why your brain will function this way.
Yeah. But also, if you do decide to go that route, be prepared for the answer.
Kalau dapat diterima, okay. Kalau tidak, forget it.
Because there's also another thing about wanting to discover yourself, wanting to know about yourself. Kan? Are you prepared for the answer? If it is what you think it is.
Or if you know you're going to be in denial, then forget it, right?
Yeah.
I would say forget it. Buang masa saja.
You have to be prepared for the answer. Kan? Itu yang important. Macam it's something I teach my kids as well. Kamu really mau tahu? You mau tahu? Are you prepared for the answer? Will you be able to deal with it?
Yeah.
How are you going to? So you've got to prepare all this while you're trying to look for the answer. You've also got to have this aspect where you have to think about like, okay,
space for the unknown, right?
Yes,
like
space for the
unexpected.
unknown. Yes.
I didn't think of that.
Yeah. What are you going to do with it? Kan?
Like me, if I'm going to go out and get diagnosed, bajaga, like, am I going to be okay with it? If I think about like, I don't know. Because we've lived this way for so long.
Exactly. But then somehow the layers are being peeled back and then you actually see so much. That's the other bit.
Pros and cons.
Pros and cons.
Oh, mana.
Yeah. And then after that, you have to spend quite a while in really, really processing the whole thing because you're going to go through the grief cycle. Seriously, you're gonna go through, the grief cycle.
The old you is like not who you thought. Now this is the new you. Actually,
but actually, it's still you.
Yeah,
it's still
actual you.
Actually, it's still you.
Yes,
the actual you. You have a name for it now. So either you want to take it in the negative or you want to take it in the positive, right? Yeah.
And then if you take it negative, you come for counseling, and we talk about it. It's good to talk about it, right?
Yeah, it
like
is.
You said,
it is good to talk about it.
It's necessary to talk about it.
It is. Because like one of my children, have a difficulty processing emotions. There's a name for it, kan? Alexithymia.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, it's a big word, but yeah. Okay. Because he has difficulty in describing it, so we spent a few years. Part of his like not really therapy, but it's a method that we use is to be able to name what he's feeling of the day, identifying, and basically getting him to talk about, anything, everything, what's happening.
And it does help, right?
It does help. So then he will not be internalizing things a lot and less of a shutdown.
Probably feels heard, probably feels understood.
Exactly.
By himself.
Yeah. So that's one thing that I what like for one of my sons lah. Like that. So less internalizing things.
Yeah.
Because if you internalize things, everything
It can
just grows.
become
Oh,
whatever
it can become
over.
seriously. Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's good, but find the right person to talk to.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah, don't just talk to anybody.
Yeah, don't just
It
talk
could
to anybody.
go the other way, right?
Exactly.
Yeah.
That is one thing I've learned over the years. You
Right.
have to find the right person to talk to.
There's some
Yeah.
people, even if they didn't mean it, they could make you feel worse, bad about anything.
And if you're married, doesn't mean your husband will
Yeah,
understand.
he may not be the right person to,
Yeah,
to talk
okay,
to about this stuff. Could be too heavy,
it could be too heavy.
Yeah.
Okay, because marriage in itself is already like the actual work, right? You have to make
Now
it
have
work.
to be a therapist.
Macam tu. So macam once you get the whatever the diagnosis, take time to deal with it. Yourself dulu. Kan? Don't expect people all around you to just immediately get it.
Yeah.
You're not gonna get it yourself.
Oh,
it's the same thing when I talk to parents as well. Parents will say yang anak yang berdiagnosis, cuba tah like autism. There's a lot of autism friendly places. Orang can understand ini. Okay, first and foremost, how long does it take for you to be able to accept your child?
Oh.
And you live with the child.
You don't even see it properly,
Exactly,
like yourself.
Exactly. So if you take a long time, apatah lagi orang yang not living with your child,
and
kan?
not even anak dorang.
Yeah, and not even anak dorang. So
they don't even need to care.
Exactly. So it takes time. All of this takes time. So don't immediately expect macam okay, I got my diagnosis. You're late diagnosis. Okay, finally I know I have ADHD. Okay, I expect my husband to understand. I expect my parents to understand. You don't put that pressure on yourself because you're still trying to process it yourself. Kan? So take time to process it.
Yeah, that's true. Is it correct to say now that you can develop more better coping mechanisms?
Exactly.
That's about it.
Yeah.
That's about it, really, right?
That's about it. It's basically just having your own coping mechanism.
You be good to you.
Exactly. What works for you? What works for you? Kan?
Yeah. No pushing your limits and then going down the beda-beda.
Exactly. Yeah. Coping mechanism because without unnecessarily masking. I mean, masking is not a bad thing. Tapi make it like if it's necessary.
It's exhausting, right?
It's exhausting, and if it puts you in a safer position, right?
Yeah, you should allow for your happiness.
Exactly. I mean, even now, my kids still ask me. I mean, they're kind of adults now, right? Do you think I should talk about my autism? What do you think? I mean, are you comfortable talking about it? Is this situation make it necessary for you to talk about it? So macam tu lah. Yeah. So this why once you have to again how you have to disclose it again, it's up to you. It's your choice.
You get to reason out whether or not.
Yeah.
Macam bisa. I mean, I do agree with that.
Yeah.
Macam, like if the parent didn't know you have this and that, then they make you do stuff in the beda-beda, and then you don't want to, macam kesian juga.
Kesian, macam pemalas anak ni, ni malas semua lambat buat kerja apa, but it's you, it's how your condition is, and it's not an excuse. It's not an excuse.
No.
Okay, but rather than making it an excuse, take time to. That's why I said take time to really understand and find coping, ways to cope with it how to deal with it kan.
It's always like, what would be better for you? This or that.
Yes.
Then you can choose this
exactly.
or that.
And knowing your own boundaries as well.
Yeah.
Boundaries for yourself, boundaries for how, how much you let people interact with you sebenarnya. Without affecting, without affecting your...
Jeopardizing your sanity.
In a way, benar. Because if it goes to, it can really, really affect your mental health.
You will suffer.
Exactly. You will suffer.
But it could have been prevented then. Anyway, look at the time.
Okay.
All right.
Yeah, we always start to chat panjang.
It's really interesting. I mean, I did want to talk about this because I do get clients with ADHD and the young adults with ADHD, and they don't know what to do. They know there's something. Should I get Annie or whatever? But now when I hear you do not need to get diagnosed as an adult, it's not highly necessary.
Yeah, I mean, like I'm in my 50s. I'm not working for anybody, but and I basically work for myself. So I'm already at the age where. No, but if you're younger, you feel it's necessary for school,
Yeah.
For school, for
Yeah.
But
even when you were 20, 30, you didn't get diagnosed,
no, because back then we didn't know all these things, no such thing,
But you turned out all right. That's my point.
Well, I wish I went through a
Another
rough time,
time, right?
yeah.
But that's the thing. For me, it's like whether you get diagnosed or not, because we're human, we
Yeah.
can cope many
Yeah.
things, we can cope with situations in our way.
Yes. It's a learning process, but then also you have to bear in mind, because having my kids at home, because I go through a big learning process with them. I met a lot of specialists, I met of consultants. So from there I was learning. So their coping mechanisms, whatever I learned for my kids, and I eventually managed to apply it to myself. You see, so that was my advantage. So that's why I'm in a position that I can actually explain this better.
And on the job training there.
Yeah, so on the job training. So it's like, this is why, like, my youngest one, just a little bit more time, but my youngest, he was diagnosed with autism at the age of 13. Okay. And then actually before that I wanted to have him diagnosed, but our consultant said that, if he were to show, his autism were to really show, it'll be maybe in his teenage years, because at that time he was also doing he was my second son punya peer to peer. He had a peer to peer program, kan? So whatever that was needed to be taught to my second son, it was taught to him. So basically he had his early intervention. Right? So he had his early intervention, but it's only for when he was little. So of course, growing up as a teenager, things get more complex and complicated. So it just surfaced lah. Like I said, because he didn't have the means to be able to explain and talk. So that's why I say it's important to be able to talk.
So now they're big. The youngest, how does he appear in public? Dekatara. But of course, like, sama je lah, macam like, hey, I don't have like a partner, I'm myself, people don't understand the way I talk, but he's already okay, because he can talk, he's talking about it. But mentally he's sound, right? It's not like he's down about himself.
No, but there was a time, through COVID and transition to that was like a tough period.
COVID more down.
But now, because he already has that tool where his coping mechanisms, that he's able to talk.
He can express.
He can express it. What can express is like, mom, like today, or maybe if I see him, I'm like, hey, are you doing okay today? You look a bit down. Yeah, like, okay, how does that make you feel? So of course, like, I was talking to him throughout the day,
Because before he was what again? He
couldn't express himself. He couldn't express his emotion. He couldn't identify the emotion. But actually, it's not key to really identify barang partner. Who can identify emotions? Emotions overlap, kan? Tapi it's just the ability to just macam talk to the right person, bah.
So he had meltdowns,
He had shutdowns.
That's scary.
That's scary, because I go into a catatonic state for a while.
For days?
It can be days.
Oh my god, dia kesian juga.
But we managed to bring it down to hours.
Okay,
But so that's why it's important. And don't think it doesn't happen in adults, because in my lifetime I've had 3 shutdowns, 3 major shutdowns. Even as an adult, even as a mom, my kids are grown up. I had one shutdown like 2 years back lah. It was a really bad one, but it was funny because then I could see that my kids were playing my role when I was helping my mom, at that time. So they were the ones who like, "Mom, you okay?"
Right.
So
the cycle letter. But in your family, who had ADHD? Your mom or your dad?
Me and my sister, we always talk about this. We're guessing it's my mom.
It must be one, right?
Yeah, it must be one.
It's hereditary, no?
Yeah, we're guessing. And she was like, we're like, we just smile. I'm like,
could be. You see, but then again, no diagnosis, right?
Yeah.
Cope ja in
but
the life.
actually, in women, it's actually sebenarnya jarang. Women with ADHD. Sebenarnya.
Jarang?
Yeah, it's usually male. But again, nowadays we are seeing more and more like females with autism. Females with that, because the thing is, we naturally mask that masking at all.
So the study may be in the accurate lah.
Yes. So I think there's some people around the world, they're trying to do develop some kind of different parameters for diagnosing women for autism and ADHD as well.
I feel the boys can mask it these days. The girls parang
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, some of the boys they can mask it as well, but yeah. But generally, um, generally most of boys they don't really mask it very well.
Okay.
Yeah, but yeah.
Maybe that's why they think boys main
Mm,
ADHD mainly in boys.
yeah,
Girls really don't know.
yeah. I think one thing we didn't mention about was medication as well.
Yeah.
So for medication, I think nowadays a lot being diagnosed medication as well to help them cope.
Is it good?
Again, everything has its pros and cons,
Mhm.
but if it helps, let's say, okay, the thing where you are like a severe procrastinator or you, very slow membuat kerja, all because of like you really cannot focus, you cannot focus. Maybe medication does help, but make sure it's properly monitored lah, and
Dosage-nya tentu.
dosage-nya and itu kan, make sure you go to really a proper clinic for that, right?
Okay.
Have it monitored, but do take care of your diet and everything because it all.
Are we talking about children or adults here?
Children and adults as well.
Sama.
Yeah, sama.
Because I know children are being prescribed drugs. I mean, that's medication, right? So
but do observe juga because some medication may not ngam.
Because some may calm them down, tapi kadang macam not natural kata, normal kata. Like you wanna just medicate them just to bring them down. Like
well, if they have like quite severe behaviors as well, because some young very hyperactive, I mean physically hyperactive as well, then maybe it may be necessary, right? Because if they're in a school setting, right? Yeah, because if they can be disruptive to the class, but again, have the medication monitored properly. Make sure it's the right medication because some of them they calm down but they can't sleep. Ada tu yang dapat tidur because there's so many side effects. I mean, nobody's perfect. It's human body kan.
It's scary if it's a child and then they grow up with medication until adult.
Yeah.
So damaging in some ways.
Well, I know some they do take, but that's why I said it's important to monitor it.
Yeah, professionally.
Professionally. Yeah, but also diet plays a big role as well.
No sugar.
Yeah, well, I think for everybody, sugar should be just reduced or removed.
Taken out.
Yeah.
No, I can't live without
but
it.
definitely like less processed food.
Yeah.
Because I saw a big change in my son because he's got autism and ADHD. So the processed food when we took out all that, definitely more to natural food, really home cooked food. I mean, jadi kerja lang, but more to home cooked food, even if we have to meal prep or whatever. But it's real, food. So and we do see and then but my son macam mau to being medicated. We did have to medicate him once because of O level ataupun because the school had to bring in a psychologist and then they recommend kalau mau just for during the O level for
okay. What was the role of this psychologist?
The psychologist ni apa tu? Assess my son. So I said because the focus because takut during exam kan lambat saya start because because it's paired with his autism, right?
Yeah.
He will spend at least maybe 5 minutes just menyusun dulu, sharpen everything. Walaupun it's all prepared. So, all those kind of things.
Yeah.
So
things he has to do.
Yeah, things he has to do. So even if he's given extra time for exam, it still takes up time betul. So they said that it's best that he medicate. So and then after that we went to see a psychiatrist lagi sini. Then the psychiatrist said, okay, we're gonna look for medication. Said we'll just try for that 1 year saja until after exams, then we wean him off kan.
What school was this?
This was ISB Blang.
ISB,
but this is the old ISB the old one kan. So and so he was put on that the psychiatrist was from MHU sini kan. And then she was very good. It was up with the medication. I can't remember what it was, but she said it was a very expensive one. But ani boleh pakai for short term je.
So, biar expensive. Jangan murah-murah medication
but she seems that maybe this one ngam for him. So benar ngam for him. But my son did say that he doesn't want to be on medication because it slows down his brain.
Oh, he can feel it.
He can feel it. He can feel it. And then that's when we see that he started to have the weight gain. Because the hyperactivity tu reduce kan. Tapi dia tayin na puas hati because he says, I know I can do so much better with my O levels. But the medication managed to get him to pass. I mean, he's got good results lah,
Yeah.
kan? But he knows he can do better
Yeah.
with his ADHD brain. Cuma, of course, the exam time and the exam conditions will not allow him to be his ADHD self to sit for the exam lah.
Sayang
Sayang. So, whereas he knows where he can score A's, kan? So he's not scoring A's.
Oh my God.
So they say he was a bit disappointed with that, but then in a way, because we talked to him, we explained to him, said, but then he said, okay, exam's over, I want to stop. No, you have to be wean off. So, get to wean off. Kurangkan step by step.
Dorang ni very determined
Yeah.
High achiever, high flyer, that kind of, they want to achieve.
Yeah, because it's called the hyperfocus, because they have the hyperfocus. For autistic people, it's called special interest. So, special interest means they really, this is what I want to do, this is what I want to do, this is
the
what
word
I go
I used
achieve.
was obsessed. But you're like, special interest, you call it special interest. Okay.
Special interest.
Special interest.
Or passion. So, but then again with the ADHD, it's like the hyperfocus. So if they already, this is the thing what people with ADHD, kadang-kadang orang yang ni malas or slow to start. But once they start, and that is the
then you
particular,
can't stop them, right?
You can't stop them because they'll be focused on that. That they really have to do. This is the part where I mean, like, when I start something, so I have to push myself to
come to the end of it.
Come to the end of it.
Yeah, it's like Kashfi. They were saying in his exam papers, right? The first question usually carries a few marks, kan? Like 2 marks, 3 marks. He will answer it like a 12-mark question. They're like, it's not necessary. You only need to answer this much. Then he will lose time answering the big questions.
Yeah.
The first rubbish, and then the last macam, I didn't have time to finish that.
Yeah, because probably that first question I think was something like he's really knowledgeable in like
free flow
free flow,
time's up.
What? He can do a full blown essay or dissertation.
That's what it was happening. Macam the teachers were like, I know he knows this last question, but he didn't answer it. Obviously, once the day first question, rubbish. Yeah, so we're working on that. But
well, get him for extra time. So,
even with extra time. But at least he's enjoying, that's what I was thinking. Okay, as long as you love the subject, I love it. Like,
so for the medication is pros and cons. And I mean, even recently I spoke to a friend of mine and she was saying that even anak yang adult pun, of all the medication yang mahal jual lah, but as long as it works. But the thing is, even if for the younger children, if your kids are on medication, because mind you, this medication were meant for adults.
Oh, so they cut it down.
They haven't really I think, I hope I'm not wrong. I have to read, but from last that I read, was that most of this medication is meant for the adult body lah. Not for younger kids. But that's why it's important that we have a proper, psychiatrist to really monitor the dosage and control the dosage. Yeah, because for younger kids it's different.
You don't know the outcome. Salah-salah kan.
And then observe your child. Kalau ngam lah, which is good. There are some kids ngam. They have, you can see too macam-macam you punya adverse effects. Kan?
Yeah, and they know it. They're smart enough to say, look, this is not working for me. They will tell the parents. So they have to listen to the child as well, no?
Exactly. Because the thing with kids with ADHD, majority bercakap lah.
So
they're not. Their mind is just built in a different way. So kita ni tahu kan. But I think it's very important to address issues about medication, and it's the same with adults as well. If you need to be medicated, then by all means talk to go see a psychiatrist and do all the tests.
If things are getting in the way of your daily life,
exactly,
terpaksa,
then do it. It is.
Are you on medication?
No, because why was that? No, I'm not on medication because I have other underlying
banyak ni
health issues. No, it's just like I said, even internally I'm built different. So I have adverse effects to medication.
Oh, right. So you've never taken medication for your condition?
No, but I'm big on watching what I eat.
Oh, okay. You're particular lah.
I'm very particular. That's why I cut out a lot of things in my diet. I mean, lama sudah lah. I started. Then I
What's
see
the main thing you cut out?
things like dairy, all this protein, dairy. I cut out dairy. I cut out sugars. I don't really have a sweet tooth, so I do cut out sugars. I mean, reduce lah, not totally cut out juga. And then because there are certain things I eat that I know will get me like, woo.
Oh, you can feel it, huh?
I can.
Wow.
You know,
Okay.
I know for some people coffee doesn't work for them, but for me, coffee works. Coffee calms me down. It's the caffeine itu. It somehow for other people it's a stimulant, right?
Yeah,
but for me it calms. Yeah. But I can't have more than 3. If I have more than 3, I'll be falling asleep.
Fall asleep.
Because it's like when I have coffee, it's like okay, then my thought processes are much more. I can like okay.
One by one.
Yeah. Before coffee, so my mind is like. You know when you see like I like that picture, like that picture.
Yeah.
You know, so it's like that.
But it's good to know, right? As long
Yeah.
as you know how you will react to certain things, then pandai-pandai lah how you.
But if the coffee doesn't work for you, but I have my coffee black. I do not take it with milk.
Okay.
Even other alternative milk, I stop other alternative milk.
Okay. Just plain.
Yeah, plain black. There are days I just take it without sugar. There are days I take it with a little bit of sugar. Yeah.
It's healthier, right?
Yeah, it's healthier.
It is healthier.
It is healthier.
Yeah.
So diet plays a big role here. Even for the kids, even for the adults. You know, if you live on an unhealthy diet of this, everything goreng or whatever can affect you.
Because we're human, we need the nourishment, the nutrients.
We need the nourishment. So I find that that works best lah.
Yeah. Yeah, basic stuff actually.
It is very basic stuff. Yeah, it can work for anybody.
It's nothing special, right?
Yeah,
it's just watch your diet, eat well, and medication if necessary. That's it.
Exactly. Because I'm not like, I don't go for gyms and exercises.
What? Oh my god, why not?
That's my sensory issue.
Di rumah lah bergym.
Di rumah, we do have the treadmill.
I don't go to the gym anymore. I used to.
Yeah.
Tapi selama macam malas tu.
Just simple movement. I used to garden but lately because my back has been hurting a lot, so I've been taking a long break. So I'm like, but I hope inshallah next year I can sort of start some form of like some basic routines.
Yoga kali bisa. Was it too boring for you?
Too boring for me.
ADHD.
Oh my god. Move along, you know.
I do yoga. Maybe you need Pilates.
Probably Pilates.
There's something called scalp yoga. That's good too. Weights. Tapi yoga.
Yeah. Maybe something I can do 1 minute.
Oh my god.
Don't give me the yang panjang-panjang atau macam I'm so over this. I'm done over and done with.
Yeah, I heard people have this issue with certain exercises. Like, wow. But walking is always the best option. Really. Yeah, I got myself a treadmill at it, so hindi ko lang mapakai. Tapi it's when I need to just walk.
Yeah.
Because I don't want to walk outside.
I know. No, this my area there's a lot of wild dogs.
Kami dogs and monkeys.
Oh yeah,
like
monkeys
zoo
too.
out there.
Yeah, like monkeys too. So
safari out there.
Yeah, but we do have the treadmill at home. So I was just talking to my husband the other day. I was like, I need a new pair of trainers.
Balik. Bagi semangat sikit lah.
It's quite an excuse, but
I do that too.
Yeah.
Like I can't run. These shoes are no good.
Yeah.
Apa shoesnya kan? God, that's crazy. Anyway, what else do we talk about? Anything else you want to talk about?
Medication, whatever.
Yeah, I think it's good for my listeners. They know they have ADHD, and now they can decide based on how what they see in the story.
But I mean, we've covered like things like relationships as well, some basic things about relationship and medication, some diet.
A lot.
Yeah, it is a lot. So you're basically not alone.
Yeah, for sure.
Well, you're not alone. Yeah, there are other people with the conditions. Of course, there's different types of ADHD, but don't feel that you have to fit all in.
Yeah, even for kids who are 12, 10, 11, 12, if they hear you talking about it, at least they're going to be better informed for what's to come.
Yeah. And it's not going to stop you from achieving what you want.
Definitely not.
You know, and maybe it may take you a longer route, than other normal people, but
it's okay.
Yeah, but it's okay. It's okay. It's never a race. This kind of thing is just like just a gentle brisk walk or whatever.
Yeah. I think the only thing is because people with condition and they have that worry what you think of me at the
Yeah. That is the biggest hurdle. I thought. Always imagine like, what will people think of me?
What will people say about me? Blah, blah, blah.
You know.
So you want to reach that level where you're mature already that you don't care. You don't want to care.
Because it's true. Some people with ADHD, they achieve things. Okay, because for example, there's this one kid I know being asked to give a presentation in front of the whole school because she's quite a good speaker and everything, you know. And then she even represented her school in another country.
Wow, okay, that's brilliant.
Okay, that's brilliant. And you know, she's 14. Her parents actually allow her to travel with her, you know. But sekali, but then bila kena bagi itu, she gave a very good presentation, but after that she collapsed and she cried. She cried and cried. Yes. Yes. She cried and cried and
thinking
cried.
What? She didn't do a good job? Or?
Yeah, thinking, maybe I could have said this, or maybe. It's just, this is all perceived. Because with RSD, it can be perceived, or it can be a trauma response, or something from experience, or some of pattern that you recognize.
And she judged herself so bad sampai menangis. Right.
It took all her friends to console her and everything.
God.
It took a while for her to settle
But
down.
they get over it, no?
They do get over it until the next time.
Oh God, that's so stressful.
You know, but I think because if she's got luckily she's got good friends, so she's got a good support system.
Matters, huh?
In a way, friends matters.
Yeah.
Having good people around you matters. You know,
it a lot more.
People who understand, people who are kind. They may not be your friends, but people who understand are kind. You know,
environment at
the yes. You know, but then again, the environment, we can choose our environments when you know,
don't be blind to what's around you.
Yeah,
right? If you don't know have to be this stuck. Is not your thing, get out.
You know the environment is toxic. No.
Yeah.
Don't stay around. You know, make your choice. Kan? So so even if they achieve things, the RSD too, I find that's a big point in
what is it again?
RSD, rejection sensitive dysphoria.
Sensitivity even sounds dysphoria. Stressful, doesn't it?
I may get something wrong there, but I know it's like so it's like very extreme sensitivity to rejection lah.
Okay, now we've come to the end of the podcast. Okay, I'm working with someone with ADHD, so she will not stop talking unless I tell her to shut up. That's enough. Mana. I have a girl who has ADHD. She won't stop talking unless bapaknya maki-mata kali baru stop.
Well, I mean, we find the right people to talk to, so that's why. Right?
I think that's a good sign.
It's a good sign. So we're vibing.
That's a good sign. All right, so that's your face.
I know.
Okay. Apa ni? So, thanks for coming over again and spending the time and helping us all understand what it takes to live with ADHD.
Yeah, ADHD and autism.
And autism. Oh my God. Other people like you?
There's some people, but
not many.
Not many.
Oh. Ano apa ni? Worst case ka?
No, it just happens to be a combination of both.
Possible, no?
It is possible.
Okay, right. Wow, there's a lot to take in. All right, thanks again, and see you all in the next podcast.
Thanks, Heidi.
All right, bye.
Bye.